We are here today with Mr. Carl Dahlberg, a founding member of the Bonners Ferry Community Orchestra. And I'm going to be asking him a few questions today about his experiences with the orchestra. First of all, Carl, hi there. And I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about your musical background, your musical training.
You know, in grade school, I played the alto horn in the orchestra. Then later I took violin lessons. Then when we moved, I changed to a baritone horn and played it in the orchestra, or in the band. And then later on, I bought a cello, and I played the cello in this orchestra.
So you played a number of instruments.
Yeah.
Was the cello your favorite?
Yeah, the cello is my favorite, yeah. Yeah, when the orchestra first started, I brought my violin, and when Sabira found out I had a cello, she said, "Oh, bring the cello, we got violins, we need a cello." So I played the cello from then on.
Mm-hmm. And the last several years that you were in the orchestra, which is when I was already here, you tell about that. What'd you go out and buy?
Yeah, I played the cello, but my hearing was getting bad. Well, in the Navy, I was behind some of the big guns, and that affected my hearing. And so I couldn't hear other instruments playing, and so then I decided I better resign and not stay on longer. So.
But you went out and got a tuba, remember?
Yeah, I bought a tuba and I tried it, but we already had two other tubas and they were a lot better players, so I still have the tuba.
But you were enjoying the orchestra and you really didn't want to quit.
Oh yeah, I liked the orchestra. Yeah.
So, Carl, did you grow up in Bonners Ferry or did you move here at some point?
No, I grew up in Portland, and after I got out of the Navy, I bought a bee business and it was up here. So I moved up here for that reason.
For a bee business?
Yeah.
Okay.
Honeybee business,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how long did you do that?
Oh, it was about 30 years, but bees didn't winter good here. It was too cold, so that didn't work out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But certainly you gave it a good go for a long time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what inspired you to want to join the Bonners Ferry Community Orchestra to start with?
Oh, I just liked to play music. It was quite a challenge, and I just enjoyed music. And Sabira picked some really nice pieces too. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So did you all in the orchestra have any input into what pieces that she selected, or was it mostly her decision?
It was usually her decision, but she really had a knowledge of what were good pieces for the orchestra. If a piece was too difficult, she didn't play it, but if a piece fit in with the orchestra, she would select it. Mm-hmm. So it worked out real well.
And she told me when I spoke with her that she actually wrote out parts for certain instruments that didn't have parts printed for them for certain pieces. Oh. She hand wrote out those parts.
Yeah, I know some people wanted to play guitar. Well, there wasn't guitar music for a lot of that, so she wrote out the guitar music.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, and she also said that some students who were younger, had joined, couldn't play all the notes that were written for the printed out parts, so she would rewrite them and make them a little bit easier.
Yeah.
So that students of all ages could join.
Then if they had some musician, like there was Jack Jackson, he was an expert trumpeter, Well, she picked some pieces that favored him, and otherwise she wouldn't have picked those pieces, except he was able to play those pieces.
Yep.
Yeah.
And do you know how the other orchestra members were recruited to participate?
Well, most of it was just by word of mouth or by the newspaper. Word got around and they'd come and join the orchestra. Yeah.
It sounded like you all had some favor with the Bonners Ferry Herald at that time, because you had a number of articles in the newspaper.
Yeah, that made a big difference, the newspaper. Yeah.
So can you think of a memory, like a favorite memory that you have, or even a couple of favorite memories of being in the orchestra, or something, a fun story or something that you would like to share?
Oh, I was looking for a better cello, and I saw an ad in the Coeur d'Alene paper, so I went to check on it, and it was a K cello, which is made of plywood. I wasn't interested. Then this person said, "Oh, I have a cello in the basement." He went down the basement and brought it back, and it was taken apart. I don't know if it broke or something. He said, "How much would you pay me for this?" And I said, "Oh, $100. And he thought for a while, and he says, "Oh, I'll sell it to you for $50. Well, after I got it home and glued it back together and everything, it was better than the cello I had already. So I sold the old one and kept that one. Yeah, for $50, I'd glued it back together and it worked fine.
That's something.
Yeah.
That is awesome. So when you all would get together for the rehearsals, what kind of atmosphere did you sense in the room when you were rehearsing?
Oh, we were just anxious for what the music would sound like, and yeah, it worked out good.
And about how many people do you remember first starting out in the orchestra?
Oh, there must not have been more than 20 at a time. But over the years, lots of people came and left. If you counted all the years that we had the orchestra, we might have had 50 or more. But some came and some left, and a lot of them moved away. And so there was always a big movement of members. Yeah.
Yeah. And what do you think the orchestra's biggest success was?
Oh, I think it just the music that the people could play. People were interested because they could play it well, and I think that was the main thing. Yeah, if you can't play something, like Sandpoint, they had music they played that was too hard, hard music, and people were getting kind of disgusted. They didn't feel like they fit in. Yeah. So if you could play music that people really liked, it made a difference. Yeah.
And the audiences were receptive.
Yeah, they really liked the music that Severa picked and that you picked.
What do you think your biggest challenge was in the orchestra, personally?
Oh, we played Schubert's Unfinished Symphony. It was kind of a hard piece, but we really enjoyed it, There's some of the symphonies that we weren't really good at playing, but we played that one pretty good, so it was worth the trouble.
Worth all the work.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. How do you feel that the orchestra here that you played in for all these years, How do you think it compared to other music groups that you participated in before you came to Bonners Ferry?
Oh, it was way advanced. The other pieces were just bands. They played Sousa marches and that. But this orchestra, we play quite a variety of good music. And that makes a difference.
So you feel like Sabira did a really good job of choosing the
Yeah, she
pieces?
chose a lot of good pieces for the orchestra. Yeah.
And did you feel like she was a motivator and a person who inspired everyone to do their best?
Yeah, it seemed like it, yeah. Yeah.
Well, is there anything else that you would like to share about your time in the orchestra?
Yeah, we played Fiddler on the Roof. You know, it was kind of a musical.
Right.
We had the orchestra and the choir, and they had actors and everything. I thought that was pretty good. We had a lot of people involved in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a great musical.
Yeah, it was good for music. Normally we just played orchestra music, but with that we played with the choir and everything else, and it was quite an operation.
It sounds exciting.
Yeah. I had trouble though. When I was playing, I'd noticed my cello would go out of tune. So I'd adjust it and everything. Then I started playing. I got home that evening, and there's this little tailpiece was starting to break. And it was, each time it would stretch the tune, it would tune, the strings would be out of tune. And finally I found out what it was. And, yeah.
You were able to fix it.
Yeah, I fixed it.
Well, it's still amazing that you glued it together, glued the whole instrument together,
Yeah.
and it had such a wonderful sound.
Yeah, there's 700 pounds pressure on the bridge. You know, when you tune it, there's that much pressure on it.
Wow. Well, I just, on behalf of the current Bonners Ferry Community Orchestra, I just want to say thank you for all of your personal contributions to the orchestra over the years. We really appreciate the fact that you helped start the orchestra and that you played in it for so long, and I'm sure you were an inspiration to your daughter and to many others that were playing.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I enjoyed playing in the orchestra. Most small towns don't have orchestras.
That's what I heard.
They're real fortunate. Yeah.
Well, again, thank you so much. Thank you so much for all you've done for our community and for participating in the orchestra and doing such a wonderful job.
Thank you.
Thank you.